So if you want to manifest anything with ease, that nothing can get in your way, nothing can fuck with you, nothing can touch you, you have to understand this shit. If there's anything that you take away from this video. So you're a multi-dimensional being, bro. I keep saying this shit over and over again. You're a multi-dimensional being, meaning that your third dimensional circumstances do not define you. You're simply the observer of that circumstance. So when you have a desire, let's say you have an unfavorable circumstance that's you're currently facing that shit right now, you instantly start desiring the reality in which that circumstance doesn't exist. The desire, you're getting a download from the spiritual plane, bro. Right? So this is the fastest creation. This is the fastest manifestation speed. But you exist on 3 dimensions. So in order to manifest something or materialize something, you have to be in alignment on the 3 levels of existence, nigga. The physical plane, the mental plane, and the spiritual plane. But you're going to get the first download on the spiritual plane, bro. And then your mental plane is like the tether, nigga, between your physical and your spiritual. So your mind is going to create like visualizations. This is why you have the ability to visualize, because you're tapping into the right hemisphere of the brain. So Matthew chapter 6, verse 2 through 4. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Do not let the left hand know what the right hand is doing. The left hemisphere of the brain is the logical side. When you get the logical side, or the ego, nigga, the physical plane, the slowest, the ego, the proof-driven version of your identity, when you get that shit out the way and you emotionally detach from this physical delayed ass reflection, you actually start walking through this bitch like a fucking god, bro. I'm gonna keep saying that shit over and over again, because you're a spiritual being, gang. Like, you're a spiritual being. You have the Holy Spirit within you. All these divine caricatures in these religions talk about the same exact energy, bro. It's on the spiritual plane. When you exist as this being on the physical plane, nigga, what do you think you are? Come on now. You're really like that. And start telling yourself that shit, bro. Like, you're really like that. Like, wake up and say, oh yeah, I'm really like that. Like, I'm really that nigga. I really do this shit. I really run this shit. Tell yourself that shit, bro. And it'll start being reflected in your reality, bro. Understand that. You can't look for this shit. So when you instantly have a desire, you're going to get resistance, because it's just 2 polarities of that frequency, nigga. So you're going to feel resistance, but just know, because you feel resistance, you're stepping into a new auric field. Understand that shit, gang. If you want to stop getting fucked by reality, you have to understand the law that makes everything work in your favor, so you can become a walking god on that shit. You have to understand that we live in the 3rd dimension, which is built on dualistic concepts like good and bad, rich and poor. Like, these are dualistic concepts. But the mind exists in the 4th dimension, nigga, the 4D. So, nigga, since your mind exists on the 4th dimension, you supersede the 3rd dimension, and you're the observer of the 3rd dimension, which is your consciousness, your awareness, your I am, your I amness. And when you internalize that shit, you actually become a walking god, like a demigod. Like, it's a video game from your perspective, because it's your own life. Understand that shit, gang. So everything has an opposite, and these opposites are 2 extremes of the same thing, cause and effect. So your mind, like I said, is the causal effect into your physical reality. So most people, they walk in life thinking that, like, oh, this situation defines who I am, and this builds my characteristics, like some like plot narrative shit in some fucking anime or some shit, nigga. But not realizing that nigga, they created that circumstance, and it's only a reflection of them, what's happening internally. But they never knew that shit. So when you become completely self-accountable, you see, oh, I'm the cause onto everything that happens to me, even the good and the bad, because it's simply how I perceive that shit. So when you consistently fixate your mind on this specific outcome or this specific thing happening to you, like victimizing yourself over and over, you get that replicated in your reality. You get that reflected back to you because reality is a mirror. And I'm finna go into that shit next. But since reality is just reflecting your internal state, your emotions, your energy and motion back to you, you're perceiving the reflection as something that's happening to you, not knowing that you created the reflection. And this is why you hear some people talk about, oh, people are crashing out on their own reflections like apes and shit, because that's what's happening, not knowing that they created that circumstance from within. So when you understand that shit, you'll realize, oh, since I experience this degree of reality right now, I have the path already set up to experience the opposite degree of what I'm currently experiencing. So this is why when you're broke, or this is why when you're like emotionally hurt, you're not really those things. You're just identifying with those traits, and because you're perceiving your reflection as that. But when you understand you only experience these things because you're consistently placing your awareness and observation on these things, then you can just focus on new shit and start identifying with the new shit. And that's how you become a new person. That's how you get a new reality, because it's identity based, it's I am based, it's self-image, is how you perceive your own life. All right, so this is probably gonna piss some people off, but you have to understand reality is a mirror. So if you say, oh yeah, I'm gonna fake it till I make it, I'm gonna portray this image to people who really don't care about me for real, so I can feel like I'm actually this person, when in reality, that's not really it. You're not faking it, bro. When you fake it till you make it, you imply to the mirror you aren't what you say you are. And that's why you still like feel resistance when you actually, or you get imposter syndrome or some shit. Like, bro, that's some low level entity shit, nigga. Say goodbye. So when you heavily invest your emotions into something, or you're emotionally attached to a specific outcome, you don't let the universe do anything for you. Like, bro, you gotta understand, my nigga. We don't even see over 1% of the shit that be happening around us, bro. Think about that, bro. You got a whole entire like landscape around you, gang, and you only have this limited perspective. Like, you can't even see like most of the shit that's happening in your own reality, nigga, right now. So when you just get the fuck out the way, when you emotionally detach from specific outcomes, you allow more things to flow to you, and you just relax, because it's an infinite amount of possibilities for shit to come to you, bro. Understand that shit, gang. If you're infinite source, if you're God consciousness, then all you have to do is just exist, bro. Like, on some real shit, because you're abundance. Like, all because you exist, you're literally a physical manifestation of God consciousness, nigga. So you're like a demigod on this shit. You're literally walking abundance when you just exist. That's why all of these fucking 9-to-5 jobs and shit be having everybody depressed, because that's going against their natural order, bro. If you look at like all these Greek gods and shit, all these Egyptians, bro, these niggas did no type of work, gang. These niggas did no type of work. They straight chilling on them hieroglyphics and shit, gang. Like, really think about that shit. That's how you supposed to live, bro. Like, that's how you supposed to exist. So since you're God consciousness and you're the I am awareness, the total observer of this third dimensional reality, you're a fourth dimensional entity, bro. Like, you're a multi-dimensional being. Like, you just don't exist on this third dimensional plane. Your perception of events gets replicated back to you. So that's why everything is on a scale. It's on your own scale. Like, how you perceive your own life. Like, your evil deeds may be good deeds to other people. Understand that shit. But nobody ever gonna say that. Nobody ever gonna talk about that shit. But all like the evil stuff happening in the world, like, who is deciding that shit is actually evil? And all the good stuff, who is deciding that shit is actually good? It's just morality. Morality is a third dimensional construct. That shit don't exist on a 4D level, nigga. So confidence and doubt are the same thing, just perceived differently. When you shift resistance, you learn it was just where you were standing on the scale. So when you realize that when you experience resistance, you have to go within and analyze your emotional detachment to certain things. When you see everything is like working for you, you only get that replicated. You just go up. Like that shit easy as fuck. So I know time and time again, you're gonna hear me talk about the law of detachment. This shit is so important, bro. Like I can't stress this enough. The law of detachment is hella important for you to internalize and become a practitioner of the law of detachment, bro. Understand that shit. So detachment accelerates outcomes because it means you are not emotionally dependent upon seeing reality change. When you don't give a fuck, resistance dissolves. This is why manifestations come when you least expect it. Understand that, gang. Like when you're not constantly looking for proof that reality is shifting, or you're not looking for when this thing is going to materialize for you, gang, like you just let reality breathe. You exist. You actually enter a God-like flow state, bro. Like understand that, my nigga. Cause you're just on this bitch creating shit like a god would. Understand that, gang. It's like you're playing Minecraft IRL, bro. Like these video games are just man-made constructions of actual God power, bro. Understand that shit. It's a microcosm within a macrocosm, nigga. So if you're still having trouble manifesting, I created a 58-page free ebook that clearly explains how to manifest. Link in description. Go tap into the ebook.